Shabbat Shalom, friends. Shabbat Shalom. It's good to be with you. You made it. You're here. Thank God we can be together, that we can settle into this sacred space, this special place, as we come together to celebrate Shabbat and celebrate Ayla and all of the hard work that she has put into preparing for this very special day. We're so thankful that we can be together and find comfort here amidst the complicated and chaotic world that we live in these days especially. A few notes regarding our service. First of all, you should see a prayer book before you called Mishkan Tefillah. This is my invitation to you to take the prayer book in your hands, join in our service, participate. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your prayer deserves to be heard. I also have an invitation to you now to turn off your phone, to put your phone away. I promise you that my space and Musically will be there when the service is over, and that you'll be just fine. You won't miss out on a thing. Some of you who are regular attendees here at Adif Emmanuel will notice a new face on our bima. This is Dana. She is a song leader from Camp Harlem, and we're so thrilled to include her in our service this Shabbat morning. We always begin with a little bit of song to help ourselves to shift gears and put the outside world outside, give ourselves the space to be present here, to be in the moment, to take a breath. Music helps us to do that. And we're going to sing Hine Matov, How Good It Is to Be Together, page 128. Please join us. We can turn together in our prayer book to page 287. It is not we alone who pray. All things pray. All things pour forth their souls. The heavens pray. The earth prays. Every creature and every living thing prays. In all life there is longing. Creation itself is but a longing, a prayer to the Almighty. What are the clouds, the rising and the setting of the sun, the soft radiance of the moon, and the gentleness of the night? What are the flashes of the human mind and the storms of the human heart? They are all prayers, the outpouring of boundless longing for God. To present Ayla with the talis that she'll wear not only on this very special day, but hopefully on many future special occasions over the course of her Jewish journey. It's my pleasure to welcome forward now Rabbi Richard Address.
As I wrap myself in the tali, I fulfilled the mitzvah of my Creator. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to wrap ourselves in the fringes. May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say the prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage, may I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know. Enriched by the truth that I have found in the good deeds I have done, so may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
We sing together Matovu, page 290. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et adam b'chokhmah uvaravo nikavim nikavim chalulim chalulim galui v'yadua lifnei chisei chavodecha she'im yapatech echad mehem o yasatem echad mehem efshar lehitkayem v'la'amod lefanecha. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar, umafli la'asot. As we turn together to page 293, we find the beginning to a series of blessings known in Hebrew as Nisim B'chol Yom, a phrase that means the miracles of the everyday. And the idea is that on Shabbat especially, we're meant to be attuned to the miraculous, the good, in our world, in our community, and in ourselves. That often while we're running around over the course of the busyness of the week, we can lose sight of all of it. And so we join together, page 293.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Please rise and turn to page 313. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah, Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes. More welcomes than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them. You who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. We read responsively on page 317. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear, in every land and every age. Your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher ba'amo, Yisrael ba'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. Ve'afta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mesavecha hayom alevavecha veshinata levanecha v'dibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvleftecha vaderech uvshofbecha uvkumecha uksharktam leo al yadecha v'hayu letotafo b'neinecha uktavtam amizuzot beitecha urisharecha leman tiskaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohehem ani Adonai Elohehem asher otzitietem mi'eretz Mitzrayim v'yot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohehem.
As we do continue at the bottom of page 319, it's my pleasure to welcome forward Debbie Grumbacher.
Love Adonai your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Our tefillah, our most central collection of prayers, reminds us of the first Jews that ever were, Abraham and Sarah. We're reminded not only of their names, but of the lives that they lived, their courage, their sense of moral clarity, their commitment to those in need, their level of faith. So as we sing these sacred and hallowed words, we remember them, but in truth, we're meant to be inspired by them. We're meant to be changed by these words so that we might be motivated to live, at least in some way, the kind of life that they lived, a life of selflessness, a life of generosity, a life of empathy. And so we rise together for our tefillah, which you can find beginning on page 323.
Adonai sifatav tifta ufia gita hilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Hasdei Avimah, Umeviu Alifnem, Bemashema Be'ahavat, Melech Yoser Umashia Umagim, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'etzrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol, Atah Rav le'Vushiach, Mori tatal, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim ravim. Somech nofim vercheholim, umatzmir asurim, umechaye emimato, lishenei afar, michal mochal v'givuro, umidalela, melech memir. Mechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lechachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol.
Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Hashem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, hakol tov al yad neviyecha, v'karazel zev'aman. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivaot, Melech al
may be seated. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. As we turn together in our prayer book to page 330, it's my pleasure to welcome forward Howard Marcus.
On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. Thank you.
As we turn to our prayer for peace, Sim Shalom, our prayer for greater shalom, greater peace in this world of ours that can feel so very broken, so very often these days, where there is bloodshed, heartache, acrimony, enmity. We know that compassion and empathy and love are more needed than ever, and we know that there are so many around our world whose lives have been touched by violence and by pain. With Sim Shalom, we pray for a greater sense of togetherness, a greater sense of understanding, and a greater sense of healing. Sim Shalom can be found on page 334. At this important point in our service, we'll pause for a few moments for the sake of our own personal prayers and silent reflections.
Shalom Mimroma, Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom Mimroma, Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom Mimroma, Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom Mimroma, Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Mimroma, Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Mimroma, Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah this Shabbat morning, can be found beginning in your prayer book on page 363. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. It's my pleasure to welcome forward with the honor of opening our Ark, Ben and Lily Buckdahl. Please rise, everyone. This is so fun. Right? I think it's fun. Ayla, we're here with you and for you, and in a moment we'll pass this sacred scroll down through the generations into your waiting hands. So let me ask you, are you ready? That was a resounding yes. That was a yes. And Ayla, I think you know that as we pass this scroll, what we're passing to you are the stories of our people. These are the stories that our people have held on to, have turned to, have returned to. They are stories of courage, of hope. They've given us direction and support when we've needed it most. And it's our shared hope and prayer on this day of many prayers that you carry these stories forever with you, and not only in your hands as you're about to do, but always deep in your heart. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, as we're standing here, surrounded by your family, by your community, by those who know and love you, that we are so proud of you, Ayla. And we are so proud to know you and be on this journey with you. It's true. Now with that, we're going to hear some words from your own family.
Whatever has befallen us, our people have remained steadfast in loyalty to the Torah. It was carried in the arms of parents that their children might not be deprived of their birthright.
And now we pray that you, Ayla, may always be worthy of this inheritance. Take its teachings into your heart, and in turn pass it on to your children and those who come after you. May you be a faithful Jew, searching for wisdom and truth, working for justice and peace.
Ashasha Devarim Haolam Omer. Ashasha Devarim Haolam Omer. השושן דברים העולם עומד על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים Won't be a slave who serves to gain on a word that holds no truth. You and I've got work to do. I'll carry me, I'll carry you. Ashosha, Devarim, Haolam Omed. Ashosha, Devarim, Haolam Omed. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Ashosha devarim ha'olam omed. Ashosha devarim ha'olam omed. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Ashosha devarim.
You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom and then you say Shabbat Shalom. Here we go. Shabbat Shalom. I knew it. I just knew we could do that.
Yep.
So this is the moment. Ayla's been working very hard, learning our Torah portion for this Shabbat. And it's, of course, a great honor or privilege to be able to chant Torah publicly, and something that she is excited to be able to do in front of all of you. She's worked very hard for this very moment. So a word about our Torah portion. Let's see. What Torah portion have we arrived at this Shabbat? Do you know? To somebody who's not a rabbi. Kiddushim. Kiddushim comes to us from the book of Leviticus, is what you were going to say. That's the third book of the Torah, remember? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. So we're in the middle book. We're in the third book of the Torah, which is, of course, a book of transition. To before it, to after it. We're very much on our way. Going from what was to what will be, and it feels fitting for a bat mitzvah. This is a day of transition, of new beginnings. So, Kiddushim, what is it about? Well, it's about holiness. You know the word kadosh, you know the word kiddush, you know the word kaddish. It's about holiness, and this portion gives us a little bit of an outline as to what it means to live a life of holiness or meaning. Now, the Torah, yes, consists of 5 books. It consists of 54 Torah portions. How many letters are in the Torah, would you say? If you had to guess, how many letters? How many? 24 letters in the whole Torah. Let's call that a good first guess. Totally fine. What's another guess? How many letters are in the whole Torah? 309 is a great guess. Well, there are 304,805 letters in the whole Torah. And the point is, we need every one of those letters to make a complete Torah. Every letter is precious and valuable, just like every human soul, every human being is precious and valuable. We all bring something unique and beautiful to this world. Ayla is unique and brings so much to this world. And we're so glad to be with her now as she chants Torah. If you would like to follow along, you can turn in the Torah commentary to page 894. That's where you'll find Leviticus chapter 19, verse 1. The honor of our first Aliyah to the Torah, it's my pleasure to welcome forward Alan Address, David Grumbacher, Alana Marcus, Baruch Lev, David Noah, Elana Rachel, Bat Harav Chaim V'Shoshana.
Baruch et Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamrach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vadaber Adonai el Moshe Lemor. Daber el kol adat b'nei Yisrael ve'emarta alehem kedoshim to you. Ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. Ishimov aviv tira'u ve'et betotai tishmoru. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
In honor of our second Aliyah to the Torah, it's my pleasure to welcome forward Rabbi Richard Address and Jane Travis Address, Sarah Ann Address, Rabbi Peter Grumbacher and Susie Grumbacher, Uvein ben Mordechai v'Shendel v'Basha Rezel bat Eli v'Ruth, Sarah Asna bat Lieber Eliezer, Harav Chaim ben Ephraim v'Aliza, Shoshana bat Label v'Taivel.
Baruch hu Adonai HaMorach.
Adonai Hamrach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Al tifnu el ha'elilim v'lochei masecha lo ta'asu lachem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Behi tizbehu zeva shalamim l'Adonai. Dertzotnechem tizbehu bayam sivhahem. Ye'achel omimachorat v'hanotar ad yom hashlishi. Ba'esh yisarei.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
In honor of our third Aliyah to the Torah, it's my pleasure to welcome forward now all of the Camp Harlem friends.
No, not that.
As long as they make it here, we're good.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach. Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'i יכול יאכל ביום השלישי, פיגוהו לא יירסה, ואוכליו עוונו יצעק, כי הקודש אדוני הלל, ונפרתך הנפש ההיא מעמך, ובכתריהם את כתיר ארצכם, לא תכלה פאת צדך לקצור, ולקט כתירך לא תלקט.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nasafet Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
In honor of our fourth Aliyah to the Torah, it's my pleasure to welcome forward Liz and Alex Grumbacher, Elisheva Malka, the Yitzchak Karni.
Baruch et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. V'charmecha lo te'olei, u'fer karmecha lo telakit le'ani, v'lager ta'azor otam ani Adonai Eloheihem. Lo tignovu, v'lo techahashu, v'lo tishakeru, ish ba'amitav. V'lo teshavu v'shmi la'shaker, v'halalitav, et shem Elohecha ani Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
They're cheering for you already.
The honor of our fifth Aliyah to the Torah, it's my pleasure to welcome forward officially as a bat mitzvah, Ayla Grumbacher, Eliza Matana bat Elisheva Malka v'Yitzchak Karmi. Please rise, everyone. Blessing.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Lo ta'ashok et reacha v'lo tikzo, lo talin pe'ula sechar, itecha ad boker, lo tekalel cheresh, v'livnei iver, lo titen mikshol, ve'areta me'elohecha ani Adonai. Lo ta'asu avel ba'mishpat, lo tisa p'nei dal, ve'lo tadar p'nei gadol, be'tzedek tishpo amitecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
honor of Hagba and Galila, the lifting and dressing of our Torah. Matt Stam, Allison Stam, Michaela Grumbacher, Shane Marcus, Ari Marcus, and Jacob Grumbacher. I'll bring it over the ledge. At this important point in our service, we pause in order to offer a prayer for healing for those in our own lives, those in our community, and those around the world who may be in need of healing. As we arrive now at this Shabbat, perhaps there is a name or names that you hold in your heart, loved ones who are struggling in some way, hurting in some way. Now's the time we pray for them. And we pray together in the name of their return to strength and wellness. As a congregational community on this Shabbat, our prayers are very much with Pam Wallenhurst, Ileana Cohn, Rick Ulrich, Lynn Romsberg, Jerry Dreskin, Ann Marsden, Sarah Oken, Gary Garnick, Michael Infanti, Shirley Friedlander, Jen Jones, Jocelyn Jackson, Eddie Rosen, Mary Mednitsky, Murray Kammerman, Rick Forenau, Todd Pollard, Dr. Jerry Herman, Carrie Basin, Hudson Hodge, Harriet Rosenberg, Ari Sobel, Carol Schaefer, Jordan Maverick Steinberg, Tricia Tepper, Barbara Cohn, Mary Parker, Louis Alahat, Karen Bowen, Joan Major, Marcy Gittler, and Mindy Fisher. If there is a name you'd like to add to this list, someone for whom you offer a Misha Berach, a prayer for healing, please feel free to do so now as my glance meets your own. Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, can be found in your prayer book on page 371.
Shabbat Shalom. My Haftorah portion is from the book of Amos. My Haftorah portion is about the people of Israel following God's commands. My Torah portion connects to my Haftorah because they are both about giving hope. To follow my Haftorah portion, please turn to page 1000 in the Torah commentary book. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nivim tovim v'ratzav v'dibrehem ha'ne'amarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'masher abdo v'Yisrael amo u'vivi'eh ha'emet b'tzedek. Leman hirashu et she'erit Edom v'chol hagoyim asher nikra shemi alehem Nu'um Adonai oseh zot. Hine yamim ba'im Nu'um Adonai v'nigash horesh ba'kotzer v'dorech anavim ba'moshech hazara v'hitifu heharim asis l'chol hagvad ot titmo gagna. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sor kol haolamim sadik b'chol hadarot ha'el ha'ne'ema ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber u'mkayem shachol devara emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu v'kedusha v'lenuha lechavod ol tifaret. Ahol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la u'marshim ota yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion, Kiddushim, also known as the Holiness Code, is about many of the values that are central to being Jewish, including loving others. As the Jewish community left Egypt and were on their way to Israel, they learned a lot about Jewish life. You shall be holy, God instructs them, and tells them, you shall not judge your neighbors, you shall not hurt your parents, and you shall not carry grudges, among other things. These commandments were designed to help the Israelites to connect to God on a deeper level, connect to their faith in a new way, and connect with each other. This Torah portion has certainly given me a lot to think about. It says that you should not judge your neighbors. I try my best not to judge others. This year, I have been trying to give others second chances if I had already come to a decision about them, because sometimes I'm too quick to jump to conclusions. A specific example of this came this past year when I was put into a situation with a person with whom I don't always get along with. Instead of trying to avoid the situation, I tried my best to give her a second chance. At first it was hard, but now I think of her as a friend. This also ties into not carrying grudges. I let go of the past and what had happened. I believe that when we give someone a second chance, we are honoring our Jewish heritage and the teachings of the Torah. Everyone experiences hard challenges in life. What matters is how we deal with them and what we learn from them. I believe that forgiveness and second chances are very much at the heart of Judaism. I've been waiting for this day for many years, and now that I'm finally here, I'm overjoyed and a little bit nervous, or a lot. I was nervous about how I might do this, or even if I could do this. But after seeing my friends complete their bar and bat mitzvahs, I became more confident. What makes me happiest is that I get to spend my special day with all of you. After all the months of hard work, I'm so proud to now stand before you as a bat mitzvah. In preparation for this day, I've had to make many decisions, like what my theme would be, or what food I would have. My parents can tell you I'm not very good at these things. But for me, the easiest decision was my mitzvah project. As many of you know, I go to Camp Harlow. This place is very important to me because it has given me a second home a second family, and overall, my greatest experiences. Not to mention that my grandparents and parents met there. So when it came time to finally choose what my service project would be, I knew it would be giving back to the place that has given me so much. Unfortunately, due to spring snow, we had to move the date to April 21st, but a small but mighty group spent the day helping camp get ready for the summer. We painted benches and porches and had a great time connecting and exploring together. In addition to my service day at camp, I also raised money for other kids to go to camp so I can share my home away from home with others. My goal was to raise $2,000. As of today, I have raised $2,078, but don't worry, you can still donate. Today would not have been possible without many people. Cantor Sandy and Rabbi David, they both have been helping me here by supporting me and encouraging me to do my best. Cantor Sandy changed how I was being taught so it worked for me, which was great. Rabbi David has helped me prepare for this day through our many meetings and conversations. Dana, thank you for coming and making this day extra special and making it really feel like camp. Opal and Grandma Susie, you both have been telling me since the day I was born to enunciate and speak very slowly, which trust me, I tried, so hopefully I did. Mom, and Grandma Jane, you are both so great and you have been so supportive. Pop, every week you meet with me to study. It helped me so much to get here, and I can't thank you enough for your help and unconditional love. Jacob, even though you are my annoying little brother, you're the best. You always give me hugs when I need them and when I don't. And you help me so much. Dad, I love you. This past year was very hard for me. You were the one that helped me get through it. I may not have been the best kid in the world, but you are the best dad. Finally, Mom. Without you, this day would not be possible. You are pretty much like my best friend, even though I might not always act like it. You are the greatest mom in the whole world, and you deserve everything. You inspire me every day to work hard to get what I want. You are the best. I love you. So, there you have it. I've now completed my Bat Mitzvah service. Phew. Thank you, and thank you all for coming. Shabbat Shalom.
That was so good. That was very good. Ayla. Mazel tov on making it to this incredible point. You were so good up here. Smart, funny, poised, and inspiring. You inspired us, Ayla. I imagine that there are a lot of gifts coming your way today. I hope so. I don't know for sure, but I hope so. But I want you to know that you've given all of us the gift of being able to share in this day with you and with your wonderful family at a time when we all need to be reminded of words like hope, joy. You delivered all of it. You reminded us that life is about more than Instagram posts and gut-wrenching headlines. You reminded us, Ayla, that life is sweet and should be celebrated. Now, as you noted, you worked very hard to get here. You overcame a lot. Sometimes you weren't so sure you could do this, if you could make it through, if you could pull it off. But you did, Ayla. You did. And while this process taught you a lot about Torah, about Jewish values, I'm guessing it taught you even more about yourself. Mainly that you have it in you to do hard things, scary things even. I mean, think about it. What could possibly be scarier than standing up in front of your entire world, chanting from the Torah, singing all the prayers, delivering your own personal words of wisdom? But you did it. You did all of it. We saw you do it. And you did it in a way that was so totally your own. So today, Ayla, you take a massive leap into adulthood, declaring clearly that you can handle responsibility, you can handle challenges, that you are so persistent and so devoted. And as a young adult, I pray that you bring all of your selflessness and big-heartedness to our world because we absolutely need it, and maybe more so than ever. It goes without saying that I have known the Grumbachers for a long, long time. I don't know if you know this, but your grandfather was my mom's youth advisor. Did you know that? Rabbi Grumbacher. And I grew up with your parents at camp, and our families are very close. Your dad and I obviously work together every single day. And Ayla, I'm so honored to know you. We're all honored to know you and to be a part of your story. And I believe that you had the perfect Torah portion for your bat mitzvah. Kiddushim, the holiness code. Right there in the middle of the book of Leviticus, we learn all about this word, holiness. What the Torah thinks about holiness and how to live a life of holiness. And the portion suggests that the way that we attain greater meaning in our lives, greater holiness, is really by elevating the people around us, whether they are the less fortunate, whether they are those who live with disabilities, our teachers, our elders, our parents, by coming from a place of respect, a place of compassion. We can not only help others, but make sure our own lives are wrapped in enduring worth. And I know what you're thinking, Ayla. I mean, not literally. I know what you're thinking. You are wondering, in your own teenage way, if you're treating people with kindness is really going to change the world. I mean, honestly, if that were only enough to bring peace and to bring understanding, put an end to bullying, intolerance. I hear you, Ayla. I hear you. Perhaps you'll remember the song we sing sometimes at camp, Lo Alecha Hamlacha Ligmor. Do you know that song? Yeah. Which means, and it comes from the Mishnah, it means it's not up to you to complete the task, but neither are you free to desist from trying. Basically, even if something seems giant and impossible, we don't have permission not to try. Ayla, you thought this day would be too much. You thought this day at times would be impossible, but you did try. And that's what got you here. And second, I agree that your feeding the hungry might not totally solve the issue of poverty, and your being nice to your parents or teachers might not change the world overnight. But I promise it makes a difference. Like tiny stones that come together to form a mountain, or minuscule drops that come together to fill an entire ocean. So my message to you, Ayla, just keep going. Just keep going. And keep being you, even as our world changes, and even as so much changes around you. Keep being who you are. I personally can't wait to see where you lead all of us going forward. Now, if I can make a little presentation, can I have you come back up here for a second? I have some items for you. First of all, how are we feeling?
Good.
Good. How do you think I did? I mean, how do you think you did?
You did good.
I did good, and you did amazing. Amazing. Really amazing. Like, really amazing. You're feeling happy, you're feeling relieved. Check, yep, okay. Well, it was great, and you were great, and I have some gifts for you from your congregational family. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think these are the last gifts you're getting today. At least I hope that's the case for you. So what do we have for you here? These are candlesticks from our sisterhood and our men's club. You can use these on Shabbat. You can use these on holidays. These are yours and only yours forever. This is your own copy of the Torah. It's a little more portable than that guy over there. And it's something to keep and to have and to treasure all your life. I have a number of certificates for you, but the one I want to point out here and now is the one that we signed prior to the start of this service. You signed it. You have good handwriting. Better than mine. Yeah. Anyway, this is a certificate that's meant to remind you always of the fact that you stood up here tall and proud, and you inspired us, you moved us, that you did it, and that you showed yourself yet again that you can do anything that you set your mind to doing. And maybe when you come back to this certificate 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you remember this day, and maybe even you remember this one singular moment where we stood up here together, pals, and we looked out at your whole world. Look at your world out there. Do you see the world? These are your people. And they're all smiling. I know it's hard to tell with the masks, but trust me, they are smiling, and they're so proud of you. Maybe the certificate reminds you of all of that. And my own personal prayer for you, Ayla, today is that you be blessed always with health, with happiness, lots of laughter, and lots of love. And together we can all say, Amen. Now, because you are a part of Camp Harlem and the Camp Harlem community, we have a special presentation, and I don't know how you pulled this off, but you managed to get the director of Camp Harlem here in person. And so I am going to call her up. My honor to call up Lisa Bieber David at this time. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Ayla, what an honor to be here. Mazel tov to you, to your family, to your friends, to all of the Camp Harlemites generations that I see here today celebrating with you. I love all the hand motions, so keep all of those up. At Camp Harlem, as you know, we talk about our midot, our character traits, and we talk about how it's our responsibility to become the best version of ourselves. And we work on things like thinking about others, we work on taking care of the world around us, and today is a day where we are celebrating you becoming the best version of yourself. You gave back to camp through your Mitzvah project, and today, seeing you so poised and calm and confident, you certainly are the best version of yourself. And so we're here celebrating that with you. I have a gift from all of us, a challah cover, and a blessing as well. On this sacred day, there are many family and friends sharing in your joy. The Camp Harlem community that you are a part of and with whom you experience the magic of summers in a place where Judaism is lived and learned, we're celebrating this accomplishment with you. Today, you so beautifully demonstrated the traditions and values that you have learned, and on behalf of Camp Harlem, I'm honored to present you with a Camp Harlem challah cover that we hope will be a special part of your Shabbat celebrations for years to come. May the pride and joy you feel today match the ruach you feel while wearing white on Chapel on the Hill and at each and every Shabbat celebration in your very bright future. Mazel tov.
Shehechianu is a blessing reserved for the most joyous occasions in Jewish life. And to lead us in Shehechianu, it's my pleasure to welcome Jacob back to the Bima.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehehianu v'kiyimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of all, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach my sister's bat mitzvah. Amen.
We're going to welcome Ayla's parents now back to the Bima so that they can share a special blessing on this very special day.
I'm going to try not to. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna really try not to do it without crying. I'm just gonna try. Okay. Martha Beck is quoted for saying, "How you do anything is how you do everything." If today does not exemplify that, I don't know what does. Ayla, you've worked so hard to get to this day, in more ways than many of you will ever know. And how you got here is truly how you do everything. Since you were a baby in my belly, you decided on how and when you were going to do things. When you wrap your head around the task, there is no stopping you, but it has to be on your terms and in your way. Today is no different. Today is truly about you, Ayla, about the woman you are becoming, about the friend, sister, granddaughter, niece, and daughter that you already are. Sorry. We are so unbelievably proud of you, and our hope is that you relish in these moments today and in the days, weeks, and years ahead. We hope this weekend allows you to stop and reflect on who you are, and for you to truly see how much love surrounds you today and every day. You will always be our sarcastic, potty mouth, I blame Dad, funny, Harlem-loving, caring, smart, TikTok-making, and most importantly, kind girl. You know, this is just the beginning of your journey, and we cannot wait to see what comes next. Our wish for you is simple. Stay you, stay funny, live life to its fullest, find the people who love you the way you love them, laugh hard, be adventurous, and remember how much we love you. Mazel tov on what you've accomplished today. Dad, Jacob, and I are so incredibly proud of you. Love you.
We're going to ask everyone to please rise as we return our Torah to the Ark. Okay, you're going to open your hand.
Shalom,
as our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, life and death. And we do recall at this time those taken from our congregational community in most recent days, including Harvey Savage, father of Heidi Kramer, Sanford Silverberg, brother of Peter Silverberg, Sandra Smith, sister of Howard Beckerman, and Harold Luboff, father of Renee Luboff Godfrey, grandfather of Taylor and Pierce, Edwin Schaefer, father of David Schaefer. As well, we recall at this time those whose yahrzeit we mark this Shabbat: Rachel Azulai, Max Buckdahl, David Gallinson, Irving Greenberg, Richard Grossman, Sari Isdaner, Saul Kaufman, Samuel Marcus, Melvin Morris, Gail Nagin, Aaron Solomon, Faye Shulman Winkler, and with an especially heavy heart on this day, Louis and Lee Wilner, Martin Address, Jeanette Address, Ernst and Elsie Grumbacher, Belle and Leroy Broder, Mark Travis, and Albert and Ruth Travis. If there is someone for whom you say Kaddish, a name that you would care to share with us, please feel free to do so now as my glance meets your own. In all their names, in all their memories, and in the memory of the many for whom there is no one to say Kaddish, we join together in the age-old words of Kaddish Yatom found on page 598. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayichon uv'yomeichon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kari v'imru, Yehei Shemei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam U'olmei Almaya, Yiparak V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitroman V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei D'Kudisha B'richu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiran V'yalma V'imru, Yehei Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Oseh Shalom b'mromav, v'yaseh Shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen. We're going to remain standing for a closing song, a classic, The Circle Game. Please join us.
Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. A what? A dragonfly inside a jar, fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. A what? A dragonfly inside, and the seasons they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. Tick tock. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle. Then the boy moved 10 times round.
It's my pleasure to welcome forward Rabbi Peter Grumbacher to share a benediction.
A couple of words before. First of all, can't discern your voice is magnificent, as usual. And Dana, every synagogue needs a song leader in addition to a pastor. We wish you, Rabbi David, all the best as you go to Knesset Israel, one of the most prestigious synagogues in the country, and we know that you will do phenomenally there. And I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for telling everybody that I was your mother's youth advisor. And one more thing before I do this. My benediction does not have 304,000 letters. It has 304,000 words. Rabbis rarely turn down an invocation, for then they can leave without hesitation. But when family calls with their life cycle edict, I stick around till the end, that I may benedict. And today's such a day that brings joy to us all, but not more than our Ayla, who answered the call. She read from the scroll all about Kedoshim, that translates as holy, if you know what I mean. Now, ere that our worship should end without stating what makes Ayla so special, there's no hesitating. To say that it's math, social studies, and steak, and dear Mr. Sides, her teacher, give me a break. She loves pasta and chocolate, though not altogether. And there's hip-hop and basketball you can play in all weather. Let's surely not leave out TikTok and the shore. Now might there be something she loves even more? Ah, yes, God bless Harlem. Not the one in New York, but the camp so beloved by cool kids and dorks. And her mom, dad, and Jacob, also Grandma Sarah and Pop, and her Opa, but I attended the one in the Berkshires that rhymes neither with Sarah or with Pop. She and Jacob heard stories about Elsie the cow, that 4,000-pound monster who ate like a sow. There's so much about Ayla that makes her a star. My meager few words barely say who you are. But just know that your family, nuclear and beyond, think you're more than terrific. You surely are grand. Your star keeps on shining, your smile so endearing. For you, Ayla, my dear, so many are cheering. And to those who are here who prayed and who sang, her loved ones and friends, this whole sacred gang, I wish you the best as you wend your way home. So good Shabbos, adieu, and Shabbat Shalom.
We'll join together in a Kiddush and Motzi. Please join. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'afen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Shabbat shalom, everybody.